Hi, I'm Patrick Nugent with IICLE. It is an honor and a privilege to be sitting here with my great friend Steve Elrod, who's a partner at Holland and Knight. First of all, I want to congratulate Holland and Knight. I understand that your Illinois land use team and local government team was just rated by U.S. News as not only top in the nation, but also separately top in the state of Illinois. So,
yeah, thank you, Patrick. We're actually very proud of that. We have a very cohesive group of Illinois lawyers that represent Illinois government out of our Chicago office. Between us, we represent more than 20 governments on a local general counsel basis and 20 more on a special counsel basis throughout the state of Illinois. So it's a great recognition. We're very proud of it.
You obviously have been a great friend to IICLE over the many years, and you are probably, without you, you're instrumental in the formation of our local government institute, which is coming up in December, and I want to talk about that a little bit.
Well, and let me say, with respect to IICLE, it is, yes, we consider ourselves a good friend of IICLE. We have a close association both in programs as well as in chapters in books that we've put together. I think it is a hugely beneficial resource to attorneys. I know from day one out of law school, it was my the IICLE municipal law book, the IICLE land use book were my go-to resources for finding, for exploring and delving into Illinois law. That's where I started. It's not where you end, but it's where you start, and IICLE has been there all along. So having had that as a resource to me, I felt as I progressed in my career, it's important now for me to give back to those who want to rely on it.
Well, you certainly are a mentor, and I'm looking at this course that you put together and the type of faculty that you put together from really almost all angles of the business that are important. So talk a little bit about what a fantastic faculty is. Why should people come
Well, we
to
did.
this course?
I remember when I first started practicing, there was, and this is in the early 1980s, IICLE had a local government law institute, and pioneers in the area from Ansel Glink and from Ross Hardy's and other major, Klein Thorpe and other major municipal law firms, people like Jack Siegel led the program. After a while, it died down. We hadn't had anything, and so what we decided to do, working with IICLE, is sort of get the band back together, but the next generation of municipal lawyers, and we put together a faculty consisting of municipal law attorneys from all of the key law firms in the Chicago area, firms that we compete with but are together and collaborate with on municipal law issues. In-house lawyers, lawyers that represent small towns, large towns throughout the Chicago metropolitan area, and put together a committee of individuals to develop a program that we thought would be not only interesting but fascinating to lawyers that practice in the public law sector and the private law sector. And the first thing we did when we extracted commitments for our speakers is to say, all right, look, we're going to have a full day of programming. And unlike your average program where a speaker comes and goes, our speakers are going to be committed to the entire day of the program. We are going, because we look at it not only from an educational standpoint, but a networking standpoint. We want to be there to work with other lawyers, to work with people that are thinking of coming into the practice, to work with lawyers that have an interest in the practice, to work with lawyers that sit on village boards or on city councils that may find this interesting, and we're going to be there the entire day. We've made a full commitment to it.
Well, not only that, but I just was with you in the planning meeting, what you guys have done at lunch, where you're actually hosting really table topic, thought leader driven lunch, which is a continuation of the program. And then at the end of the day, we're going to have a full cocktail reception to make sure that everybody can have a drink with some of these unbelievable mentors and say hello to them and actually have that opportunity to connect to them.
You know, Patrick, we have always felt that having a networking component to a seminar program is hugely important. That you get the benefit, and there will be a lot of benefit from the substance of the program, but then to be able to follow up with one-on-one questions or explore a little further over a drink and hors d'oeuvres, we thought was critical. So we built that, as you'll recall, when we talked to the IICLE staff, we said, all right, we'll do this, but we want to have the networking cocktail reception as an integral part of the program. And we wanted to have a working lunch. And the way the working lunch is going to take place, we have a number of topics that are set forth in the program. And then we're going to have two key topics that we're going to discuss at lunch. One is going to be the Coons case that was just recently decided by the United States Supreme Court that sort of gave a new perspective on land use entitlements. And the other is going to be a sort of an exploration of open meetings in Illinois and what it, after the recent Champaign case, what open meetings and Freedom of Information Act mean to practitioners. So both of those topics are going to be discussed in a sort of two-part roundtable discussion at lunch. And
it's fantastic. It's a working lunch, but you're really utilizing the faculty, as you mentioned, all day. But they're going to come back on and they're going to help facilitate each one of these tables during the luncheon, correct?
That's right.
If you are looking at the live event and why you should be at a live event, why you should still come to a live event, this is one of the great reasons to do it. It's not to be in a vacuum. It's to be able to learn with key people and actually have touch points with those people, both in a networking arena and in a thought leader availability arena. And I look at what these lawyers are actually giving back to the community on a daily basis, not only mentoring younger lawyers, but mentoring lawyers that are actually very sophisticated and already in practice to improve excellence and their overall practice in the state of Illinois.
Right, and Patrick, there is a commonality among the people that were selected to be on this committee and on the faculty. Each one, first of all, is incredibly talented and has a desire to give back and are excellent teachers in their own right. My partner, Peter Friedman at Holland & Knight, is a very knowledgeable attorney, but also has a strong desire to give back to the community through education. Same thing with Julie Tappendorf, who's at Ansel Glink, Mike Zimmerman, Jim Ferrolo, Kathy Janaga. These are all, they've all played a strong role in developing the program. And when you have people like them and John Murphy and others that are considered to be at the height of their game in the municipal law world coming together, people that compete against each other in one forum and are now together to help educate people, it's something that it should not be missed. If you're a practicing municipal attorney or if you represent the private sector before municipal boards, this is a conference that you should not miss.
Thank you so much on Holland & Knight. And by the way, with the networking, without Holland & Knight helping us with the cocktail reception and the lunch, we wouldn't be able to do that as well. And that is really an extra caveat for all lawyers to be able to actually have thought leader hosted luncheon table. So you're actually driving those thoughts, and then to be able to hobnob and have let your hair down a little bit and actually meet somebody and meet some of this faculty.
And we're proud to be sponsoring with Kleinthorpe and Jenkins. It's a great deal.
It really is. I believe the course is December the 13th at UBS Tower. Am I right about that?
It's December the 13th, and it's not to be missed. So we sure hope that we get a good crowd.
Well, thanks so much, Steve. Once again, Local Government Institute by IICLE, brought to you by our great partners at Holland & Knight. Make sure you make it December the 13th, UBS Tower. We'll see everybody in Chicago for what we think is going to be really, truthfully, the apex of local government and municipal law understanding in the state.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you to our entire faculty, and thank you to everyone at the IICLE staff. You guys are terrific.